Good evening folks, and welcome. Right, what we have here before us on the workbench is a Garrard Rc 75, and basically this is out of the radiogram. It's out of the Bush radiogram that I was given off Jay. I say given because I gave him a load of stuff, as we all know, the other week, but he already asked me if I wanted this, so it's basically a freebie for me. So you know, that's that's where we're at with that. And you know, so but basically when he gave it me, he did tell me that he couldn't get the original motor to run, so we'll deal with that issue first. He couldn't get the original motor to run. This is your speed change mechanism and everything here, and your motor's in the middle here with your pulley on it. And apparently the original motor was dead. I think it had I believe it had short windings, shorts in the windings. There was an issue with it, wouldn't work. I had a good go, it was free enough, so there was no reason really why it wouldn't turn, apart from the fact it didn't. So basically what I've done a little bit of looking around and a little bit of thinking, and this is a motor from, this is a 50s motor from an early 50s deck, and basically it's the holes are in the right place. It's basically a drop-in replacement. Because you've got a hole here for a bolt to go through, and two more holes here. Oh, pardon me. Anyway, the bolts I've got here are not, they're out of the same deck, because I keep bolts with motors and stuff out of the same deck. Basically they won't fit this one because they're not long enough to come through, and because the shaft on this was a bit long, the shaft on the original was stuck up about that high from the base plate here, the speed mechanism, to the top. It's about that long, and basically the pulley sits down here, and I couldn't get it to I couldn't get the other shaft off. The original shaft is the same diameter as this, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the I couldn't get the armature. I couldn't get the armature or the commutator off. Basically, so you know. So basically, what I've done, I've epoxied this shaft on in place. That ain't going nowhere. That's really good and on now. To get that off, I'd have to really heat it up to get it off, and so that's all sorted. But what I've done, I've ordered some threaded rod, which I'm waiting on its arrival, and that's slightly out of a thingy, because there needs to be a bit of free play in them for the motor to actually sit level like that. And basically your speeds on this, it's actually belt driven. I've got the belts somewhere, I've took them off and put them away so I don't lose them. And basically you've got your 45 RPM pulley here, I think, because your speeds are, if I move this out of the way so I can operate this and show you, that's in the middle there, 78, and that's your 78 pulley on the top there. Then you've got 45, so that's your 45 pulley, and then you've got 33 1/3, which is that pulley, and that's how that works. But that's all going to get stripped down, serviced and cleaned, this mechanism, if I can get it apart, that is. If I can't, then it'll just get cleaned and left as it is and lubricated. But but that's where we're up to with that. That's the motor. Now, just move these remote controls, there we go. Now this is the deck. I just put my glasses on. Yeah, I didn't need them for that. Anyway, I put them on. This is, as I say, it's the RC 75. They actually did an A, but this is not the A. This is the earlier version. This is the M. Oh, well, that's what it looks like. Anyway, they did an A. Well, they did an A which uses one of them motors anyway, and this is the earlier model that used a motor with carbon brushes in it and capacitors on it and stuff. Anyway, and I couldn't get it to work, so, and Jay couldn't get it to work when he had it, so that was that. And basically, I've checked all this, and all this is all nice and smooth, and it all, well, that I think that should. That's set 12, 10, and that should come a bit further for 7, but it doesn't. So I'll need to look into that. So what we'll do, we'll actually start with that. I mean, it might not go any further, but I've got a feeling it should. Because, yeah, because it moves it back up. Right, let's have a look at how it's done. Right, that's your, right, that's 12. And it doesn't go any further than that, so that must be right. That must be right. Because it can't go any further than that. Because it, no, it's right, that's right, and it moves back, and that does your sizing there. Oh, hang on, I know where I'm going wrong. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it can't go any further forward. I'm just double checking. No. No. Doesn't go any further forward. Because it actually says in the instructions, yeah, because that's, or do you push that out to get a bit of extra? What does that bit actually do? Let's see what this bit actually does, because I didn't look at that. Let's operate the mechanism and see what that bit actually does. So, because the mechanism does operate, it's not going to take a lot to sort this out. That there doesn't appear to, oh, hang on. Oh, that's what that does. That's what that does. Push that in. Pull it, ah, yes. Yes, I've just fucking worked it out. Let's just get a record. I've just figured, yes, I've just worked it out. Basically, when we operate the mechanism, goes there for 7. So basically that's supposed to be pushed in, that comes across, that lever pushes the record out, and then it retracts. Isn't that good? Isn't that neat? The spindle pulls out as well, so I need to address that. Isn't that neat? There's even a little groove in there. So let's see if it's reliable. And when it gets to the end now, it should get to the end and switch off. No, there's no record there. Let's just stack a couple of records on it. I mean, the spindle pulls out, so I need to... I bet loading these was the right mission because the records all fall down. I want to just try 2 records on it. So basically, you're supposed to... Hi mate. You're supposed to... Wow. I'll tell you what. You're supposed to rest the records just there like that. I mean, when it's in the radiogram, I'm hoping it's going to be easier. And it should push 1 record. Hey, which it does. And then the next one drops down into position. So so as you can see, the mechanism actually works nice. I never noticed that. When I was looking before, I never noticed that, and it is quite clear. You flip that and you push it back over for 12, and then there for 10, and then there for 7, and the records, you flip that back, take your records off your spindle, flip that across, drop your records onto the spindle, do that, it pushes the first one. So why did it only go, oh, it's set for 10 inch. Andy, you dopey bastard. There we are. 7 inch. And it just taps it to size to let it know that there's a record there. To sense it. And then it goes all the way in. There we go. And then when you play a 12 inch or a 10 inch, you flick that out of the way, you flick this out of the way, and you move it to 10, or you move it to 12, that's how that works. So we've got, at least we've got that sussed. But the spindle comes out, so there must be some retainer in there. There's something I'm overlooking, because I don't think that's supposed to just pull out, it's supposed to be grabbed somewhere. Because it does slot in, but I will be taking the bearing off and taking all that apart, so I'll work that out then. And we've also got a removable head shell on here, and I've not pulled this off yet. I hope it hasn't been glued on. No, it hasn't. It's oh, and it's got the screws for the cartridge. Oh, lovely, and the wires. Oh, sorted. Because I've got a, what do you call it? I've got an ACOS GP91 I want to put in it, and there's no tone arm clip. There probably would have been one somewhere at one time, but I'm not bothered about that. When I first got it, this was out of position, and all I did really was just it was a bit floppy, and there's just a screw on the top. You just turn that. and there's a pinch bolt underneath that needs doing up, because you can move this by hand. I mean, you know, out of the position it should be in. I mean, you can turn it there, yeah, no problem, but you can actually move it past that point and you shouldn't be able to. So, or past that point, and you can, so that needs to be addressed. But when all's said and done, the turntable is in really good condition. It's got a velvet or felt turntable mat on it, which is still nice. It feels good. Give that a bit of a clean, it will come up really good. Looking at the turntable, looks like it's off a gramophone. It's the same sort of turntable, and it weighs a bit as well. It's the same sort of turntable you got on a gramophone, but there's also inside there, believe it or not, there's a ball race in there. So don't forget when you're, is it? No, it's not. It's just where this is crimped on. I thought it was a ball race. It's not. Looks like one though, but it's not. But what we'll do, we'll put the turntable away under there, out of the way, so it doesn't get damaged, because I don't want to damage the velvet. We've got a turntable brake here. Fuck knows why, because it doesn't seem to work. These grommets here are going to get replaced. I think I've got some new ones. So I've got some, well, they're not new, but they're what I call brand new second hand. The tone arm wiring, we'll look at that, see what condition the tone arm pickup wiring's in. Well, the pickup wiring's in good condition. I will rewire the motor switch and stuff. We'll redo all that. But what we're going to start on first, the mechanism, look at this folks, this mechanism is lovely and clean. And that doesn't need cleaning, that just needs lubricating. There's no crap on it whatsoever. But we've got these two big screws here. So what I will do, I will get my screwdriver set out, because we're going to need the big guns here, I think. And I will put my screwdriver bit into my tool. And even the idler's still dead supple. It's not, you know, like most of them. Just pull the spindle out. It's not like most of them go, you know, turn into gunge or go fucking stiff. You know, it's still in pretty good shape. Right. And I think there's 3 screws that hold the spindle in, that hold the bearing in. Now let me just check I'm right on that. There might only be fucking 2. There's one here, one here. Oh, don't say I've got to strip all that out to get the... Oh God. Yeah. Oops. It's just there. No, you've got to get that out. You've got to get this out. You've got to strip all that. So what I'll do, I'll put them screws back, because I don't really need to take that out. And I'm not stripping this mechanism because there's not really any need to. I can get to where it needs to be lubricated without stripping it. So let's put these ones back, because I can take it out, I can get it out from underneath, and I'll do it that way. I think that's the way to do it, because I'm not in the mood to strip this down, it doesn't need it. So at the end of the day, I mean, this is a late 1940s mechanism. It's obviously late because it's got 43 and 45 on it, and the chassis that's in the radiogram is actually an AC41, but it's got a transformer in it, and I've got an AC41 table radio. that doesn't have a transformer. But let's get this. See if we can take this. See if we can take this bearing. See if we can take this bearing apart from the underneath, and we can do some lubrication and find out. You know, I'm not sure what you lubricate it with. I've got the manual. I have not consulted it yet, but I will. So I'm going to take this plate off the bottom here, and I just hope there's not a fucking great big fucking spring that goes boing and flies out, or a ball bearing that drops out. I don't want to lose anything. Right, so I could open that, and there's a bearing under there which is dry. Which is as dry as a nun's crotch. I mean, let's face it, a nun's crotch has got to be fucking dry, hasn't it? Right. So that comes out of there. Yeah, that had to come, but that didn't have to come out, to be honest. See, I'm feeling my way around this like you are, folks. You know, that didn't have to come out either. What I need to do really is just undo them 2 screws here and pull the whole bearing out, so I can put this back in. I will actually put it in loose, because I do plan on putting a bit of lubricant behind there, because there is a bar that moves behind there. I thought it was a bearing, it's not. See, I've never done one of these before, so I'm hoping that whatever I learn, you can learn. And I'm going to try, and there we go, just nip it, because we're going to lubricate it behind there anyway. So basically what I need to do is undo these 2 screws here. I won't withdraw them all the way, mind you, I might. Yeah, I'll withdraw them all the way, or will I? No. Whoops. We have ball bearings. We have ball bearings. I might have to take this apart after all, put the fucker back together. Put them fucking ball bearings back in. Now, so let's pull this up and out. It's not coming out. Well, only 2 ball bearings fell out of it, and I know there's more than 2 in it. Let's take these, withdraw these screws all the way. There's got to be more than 2 ball bearings in it. Yeah, let's take that one out. But it's all dry anyway. I might have to disassemble it yet. I hope I don't, because when you've never done one before, them screws are both the same. Well, that's got a thinner top and that goes at the top. The one with the thicker top goes at the bottom, so make sure don't lose them ball bearings. Now, let's try and get, I'm going to have to turn, oh there we go. That's your centre shaft out, look at that. And that is as dry as a bone. I mean, I need to look at this to see how the spindle goes in, because it goes into there. I don't know whether it locks in though, but it goes into there. It goes into there. I'm sure there should be some sort of, yeah, some sort of collar. Sure, there should be something. I'm just looking to see if I see a groove going through this, but there's nothing. So, but that definitely goes there, and it locks together like that. But when you pull the records off, you're going to pull that with it. So and I don't want to pull that with it, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. So we'll work on that. And let's take this part here out. There we go. Some more ball bearings. Yeah, there's a ball race down there. There's a ball race down there. But let's find the rest of the ball bearings. I've just heard another one drop out. It hasn't rolled off onto the floor, that I do know. It's in this mechanism somewhere. There. I know it's in here somewhere. Where'd the fucker drop out? It hasn't rolled off. Because I know it hasn't rolled off. Right, so. Right, can I get the ball race out? From under here, from this side. Yeah, look at that. Let's see, there's another one come out. There's another one. So make sure we don't lose any of those. They have to go back into it. Yeah, oh, there's another one. So that's 4. There's about 5 or 6 in them usually. But there's 4 anyway. Have another pair down there. Yeah, there's another one. What I need to do is that bottom does have to come off. That bottom does have to come off. It does have to come off to get that out. So basically, that is basically, let's get these fucking wires out of the way. I could chop them off because I'm not reusing them, I'm putting new wires in. But that's there. Then let's take this off, withdraw this all away because it's flapping about being in the way. But yeah. Right. So if I just, then it's actually split pins in this and all, you know, it's, look at this, little split pins, not circlips. Early versions of circlips, I would have to think. Now if I lift this off here, and then I take, I want to be careful because there's a ball bearing in still in that and I don't want to lose it. There we go. Lift this off there. Now where's the ball bearing race? There it is. Where's that one gone? There it is. And there we are, folks, look. It has 5 ball bearings in it. Right, so we've got that apart. Why do I get the feeling that this is going to be a bastard to put back together? Oh, pardon me. Be back in a minute, folks, while I get me cleaning, me lubricating stuff and whatnot down. I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back, folks. I've got all my cleaning stuff and me brushes to apply me grease and stuff. Right, I'll give you a tip. If you're running out of oil and you've got oil in the spray can, but you want to put it in in one of these, just give this a wipe. this shirt's got to go in the wash anyway. All you do is just make sure that you take the top off and then just squirt it in. That way you've got your oil back in an oil can. It's actually proper 3-in-1 oil that's in here. Although it's not a proper 3-in-1 oil can, it is proper 3-in-1. Anyway, so what we'll do now, this is all nice and clean. I think Jay might have done a bit of work on this. I'm certain he has, because it's all nice and clean in here. I mean, it's not what you would call disgustingly bad. Nowhere near it. It's one of the cleanest I've seen. So what we're going to do, we're going to just basically lubricate, because it's not dirty in here, and it doesn't need to be washed. What we'll do, we'll push that down. There we go. And it pops up. And what we can do then, we can get our paintbrush, we'll get that one, our little paintbrush, and just, there we go, and just apply a little bit of grease on the moving surfaces, just so that everything can slide a bit better and everything can work a bit better, really. That's all you need. Just a little bit on that pulse, because there's a piece of mechanism there over there that goes on that. A bit on this gear here, because there's grease already on here, so I assume that you have to have a bit on this cam. It's actually a cam, this, and I think it will run a lot better with a bit of grease on it. You'll really benefit from it. Yes, it is a cam. Put a bit on the post, on the cam follower. There we go. Yeah. A bit of grease on here, it will all work its way in. You only a little bit goes a long way. It'll work its way under there to where it needs to be. That spring there looks like it's stretched, but maybe not. Looks a bit though, so look into that. I have got the manual for this, but it doesn't give me an exploded view, unfortunately, and I could have done with that. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to try and operate the mechanism by hand, and get a bit of grease on here. As I say, it'll find its way in. Turn it round. There we go. Right. You don't want any grease on the yes, and that now should go into shut off mode. So the turntable rotates clockwise, which means this has to rotate anti-clockwise. I've been turning it the wrong way, haven't I? Yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah, that's it. And this mechanism actually works nice and smooth. It's not bad. For its age, it's pretty good. Get a bit on these teeth here and it'll work its way in. But I don't want to get any on here, because I don't want to get that bit off there. There we go. Put that on here where it'll do some good. Get that bit there and round there. There we go. Right, let's rotate the gear. Get my fingers full of grease. down here and get off any excess that's gone into the hole. There we go. Don't want excess grease on it. There we go. That's it. Now, let's have a look at the mechanism that moves the... Let's get that from under there. Let's have a look at the mechanism that actually moves the arm over, because that's supposed to move freely, it's supposed to be dry. I think all that needs really is a clean. Yeah. We've got a felt pad on there. Yeah, we do have a felt pad on there. Right, let's bring this round so that the mechanism will switch off. Go into its stop position. That's it. There's actually supposed to be a screw that goes in there, so you can't just pull the eggshell off, but that doesn't matter. It's nice to have it so it can be removed anyway. Right, so basically what we need to do next, we need to get a little bit just down here, because there's a little part there that moves. We need a bit on that. Now, here comes the tricky bit. Putting the ball race back in. That's going to be... I was going to tell you now, folks, I'm not going to fucking beat about the bush. It's going to be a bastard. So what we'll do, get a layer of grease in there. A bit more. So we can... So that when I put the ball bearings back in, they should stay where I put them. Now let's have a look down there, see if we've got good coverage. A little bit more. Let's go down. Let's go down there. And there we go. Yeah, got good coverage there now. So if I move the grease, well, basically move the paint brushes. See, on later versions they were captive, as we all know, but on these ones they weren't. So what we need to do is pop our shim in, our bearing carrier rather, and that's the washer for the top, and that's the washer off this bit here. Now whoops. It's one. That's one in. Two. We've got another one to go in there. We've got two in. See, what I'm trying to do is turn them so that they're at the top when I'm putting them in. The last one might be the most difficult. Whoops. Don't you dare fall off. Whoops. Whoops. I can't afford to lose one. There you are, come here. And put that one into there. Now all I need to do is turn this round until I can't see a bearing in one of the holes. All the other holes have got one in. How do you have there? I've not put one down the middle, have I, by mistake? No. Right, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have. I've put one down the middle by mistake. I'll get that in a minute. Right, we've got a hole right at the top there that I can see. Yeah. I'll put one down the middle. I'll get it in a minute. It's stuck on grease, so it's not going to go very far. There, that's the next one in. Now all I need to do is get that one that went down the middle. And the way I'll do that, just get a small screwdriver, there it is, pull it out, and I need to turn it 1 revolution. Really? Well, half a revolution I think it is. I should have a hole at the top, which there is. Get that on the tip of my finger. See, I could use a screwdriver to place these, but I think, just look down the hole, I should see 5 shiny bits. Yep. Yep. All in. That weren't as hard as I thought it was gonna be. And what I'm gonna do now, because the balls have been running on this for all these years, I'm gonna give that a bit of a shine up. There we go. Give the other side a bit of a clean as well. Give it a quick rub. There we go. Now what I'll do, I'll give this a coat of grease. There we go. Don't need too much. There we go. But because it's got to go right round them all, then I thought I'd put some more in. Drop that into the middle. There we go. Are we in the middle? It would appear we are. And all the bearings are in. At least I think they are. What's that there? That one's not popped out, has it? This is very difficult to see. I want to just feel down here. No, just put my fingers in. Yeah, we're okay. We're flat, which means they're all in. And what we want to do next is a bit of grease on this gear, because we don't want any problems in the future, because I don't know where it's going to sit on the actual drive gear down there. I'm going to cover the whole lot. That's okay. And put a bit in that bushing there, because there's a piece of mechanism that goes up that. So get a bit round there, because all this turns. Now I'll drop this. Back into place there. Make sure that way I think we are. We're okay. Oh, hang on, no, we're not. The bearing carrier's sliding out. Oops, push. Look there a minute. No, we're not okay because the bearing carrier's sliding out. Right, let's get our screws. Just move this lot a minute. Make sure I've not forgotten anything that goes up there. Now, put this in. Just loosely for a second. That goes on there. That goes that way around. Then that follows round there. Well, that's not right. Let's put that there. The bearings should stay in now because, yes, that is right. Yes, that is correct. That goes in there, and that'll hold everything in the middle. Oops, my oil. Oh, it's not open anyway. Now, if I get my screws, the finished one went in the top, the one with the finished top went in the top. Don't suppose it makes much fucking difference, to be honest with you. Oops. But that's how it was, that's how I found it, so that's how I'll put it back together. Now, put the, need to undo that again because that wasn't fucking fully pushed down. That's it. Make sure that we're on the bearings. That's how that goes. Whoops. I'll just tighten this one in and I can make sure everything's right. And Right. That's right, so why is that not going in? Let's take the screw back out. Because they weren't screwed all the way in. So let's have a look at why we're not going all the way in. Oh, I know why. I know why. I know why, I've just realised. The Right, push that back in for a minute. Let's pull this back out. Because I've just realised the mistake I've made. What I've done, I've put that washer there. I've put that washer on the top. Right, let's take this back out and have a look. I have done something somewhere not right. Always happens when you do this, you always get something wrong. Just pull that back out, there we go. That's what the problem is. Oops. That goes underneath the ball race. So if I can just get that. Lift that out. There we go. There's a ball bearing somewhere. Where are you? There you are. Right, basically what I've done, I've not actually got it all level. Now let's see how it goes together out of the... Yeah, that goes on there, that does go there, that's right. And then the ball race goes like that. It sort of sandwiches up on in between them like that. Yeah. Let's just put a bit more grease on so it'll... And what that'll do, that'll actually hold. That will actually... I know it looks a bit much, but... Get that level. With that. Now, this... If I just turn this gear here... There we go. So it's centre. Now I should be able to get that back into there. Right. It goes like that. Then And this, where's that other part of the mechanism? There it is. This goes in. Oops. That goes in with that way. Right, done. Goes that way. Oh fuck, I pushed it all back out. Never mind, it'll all push back down, everything stayed together. There we go. So that goes that way, like so. That's not right. Pull this back out. And that has to go, so that's that way. Yeah. Oops. Right. That doesn't go that way, definitely. That definitely goes that way. And then it sits in there. That's it. And then that goes there. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And then that just turns to there. Right, so that goes up there, and oh, hang on. I thought there was something missing. Right, because the screws nip up onto that, and that drops right the way through. Right. Because let's take this back out. Because I pulled that out, that was why. That was why I forgot. Now, that has to go in. Goes in there. That's the way that goes, because I'm going to put a screw back in there. Yeah. Are we centered there? That's it. Right, there we go. Oh, bloody hell. One of the ball bearings has come out, trashed my shorts. Oh, fucking hell. Got to pull it all back out again. But at least now I know. So let's pull that there and just see. You can see where the ball bearings come from. Right, let's pull it back out. I think it goes there. well over the bench in case I drop the bastard. Yeah. Right, so that's all the ball bearings back in. Yeah, that's lovely. Push that down into there. And the spindle goes in that way. It has to be facing, basically it has to face at this. So that's right. Now turn it back over. We're getting there now, folks. We're cooking with gas. You know when you get that feeling that something's missing? There we go. Yep, these are the ones that go in here. Don't know why one has a slightly thicker head than the other, because they're both exactly the same screw, same length, I think. We'll find out. Should both stop in the same place. Nope, they are. One of them is slightly longer. Must be, because they were both even before, now they're not. So one of them is slightly longer. I'll put the wrong fucking one in here because these are the ones I think are a bit shorter. They're all the same fucking length, to be honest. They're all the same fucking length. Except for this one. I think this one's a bit longer than the rest of them. But I have been known to be wrong before. But I'm learning on this deck because I've never done one, so yeah, that's a fucking longer one. Not by much, but it's fucking is a bit longer. And that one went in the top. I'm sure both of them screws were fucking even, but they weren't screwed all the way in either, because it only has to nip up, it doesn't have to be super tight, I wouldn't have thought, but it just nips them up just so that the bearing assembly can't move. But I'll tell you what, it's nicely made, this deck. I like it a lot. Oops. That's that. Yeah, that's about right. I'll put one of these in. These are the same fucking length, so it doesn't fucking matter. And that should go in, it should be pretty level with that last one. But this one's got a thicker head on it, this one. It's there we go. Right. Let's make sure it turns okay. Pull the spindle out. Yeah. Just let it run through its automatic. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. All the bearings have gone back in. Yeah, that's lovely, that, folks. That's working now. Thank fuck for that. Yeah, I thought that was going to be a bit. To be honest, I thought that was going to be a bigger bastard than it actually was. It was pretty easy. Once I remembered I'd left the fucking centrepiece in the fucking spindle. Because I'm a dopey fucker. And that goes in that way. It goes on there. And pushes into there. Oh fuck me, I've not got it in its locator. Not got it located properly. Goes that way. Let's go that way. No, can't go that way. It has to go that way. It goes that way. And we need a bit of blob of grease on that as well, because yeah, it goes that way. So that goes into its, yeah, and it shifts across. That's how it goes, and then it shifts across. So what we need to do now is put a blob of grease on the bottom of that. There we go. Doesn't take much to do these. This is a nice easy one. But I'm not stripped, like I say, I've not stripped it because there's not really any need to. I mean, if it had really loads of problems, then I would have done, but it hasn't. The auto mechanism seems to work pretty okay. And put that back on, what passes as a circlip. Clean that back plate, which also helps retain. That just put a blob of grease, only a blob. Didn't even need that really because I've greased that, but why not, eh? Doesn't hurt. I mean, I'm going to have to stop in a minute because I need to go for a slash. Right, well, doing this is actually quite. I've got this little bit here to do yet. The size mechanism. I've got that to look at. I mean, it's working, but I'm going to give it a quick overhaul. Oops. Drop your fucking screwdriver. I'm not with it tonight. I mean, them screws I don't think they're supposed to be level, but bloody hell. Talk about fucking butterfingers or what, folks. Man, you don't know that my fucking fingers are dead greasy. Give these ones here a bit of a nip up, not too much of one because I don't want to crush the tube inside. Just enough. Right, so they've gone in good. Yeah. And I've got a feeling that that is slightly out of position. Why do I get that funny feeling? That is well out. Oh, look at that, I've got to undo it. It's well out of position. But at least I only have to slacken them off. They don't have to come out. Undo that one. Just bring them up a little bit. Now, if I can, there we go. I want that so that the groove here is directly facing that, and that's correct. I don't know why the spindle pulls out though when you lift the records off. I mean, I wonder if it did that when it was new. There's no retainer or anything, and there's nothing missing. So, I don't know. I do not know, folks. It's one of those mysteries, you know. Right, so that's okay. It's just I'll tell you what, you know, I like the way this is made. It's beautifully made. This is really is, honestly folks, it's beautifully made. I mean, if you said to somebody, make one of these today, wouldn't have a fucking clue, would they, be foot? Right, so where we're gonna... Hey, a little bit on that joint, a little bit on here, a bit on here where it pivots, where it moves. Let's get a bit in there. Yeah, a bit in the other side. And you can get a bit more in there. There we go. I mean, there's not really a lot of these that you can actually take apart. I mean, because a lot of it's fucking riveted, to be honest. But that's nice and free. Oh, get a bit in that pivot there. That fucking, there we go. Get a bit down there, there we go. And this here, I've done that. Get a bit on that. That pivots. Everything with a pivot on it, get a bit of grease on it. And there we go. Yeah. Bit down there because it pivots there. Bit there. I'll run out of grease, look. Let's get a bit more on my brush. I'm going to stop in a minute because I want to go and have a slash. Right. And I've already done all this, but just double check things. I like to make sure. Get a bit in there. There we go. I mean, like I say, there's not much percentage to me taking this all apart if I don't fucking have to. I mean, what's the point? The fucking thing works, why make it not work? Or why run the risk of making it not work? I mean, fucking lovely, it's a lovely deck. The only thing I can't understand is why the spindle pulls out. I would have thought there'd be some sort of retainer. I mean, I could epoxy it in, I suppose, which I'll probably end up doing. But there again, you got to get. Can you get the turntable on with the fucking centre spindle on? If you can, I'm going to epoxy the fucker in. Yeah, you can. Right. Well, I'm going to epoxy that in because it's never going to play. It's never going to play single play records. It's always going to be. It was made as, and it's always going to be an auto changer. So, you know, it doesn't really matter about whether if the spindle can't be removed. Doesn't matter about that. It's okay. But there we go. Always clean your brush afterwards. That way it's not all greasy and don't go horrible, and it's ready for next time and shit like that. All this stuff here, this is all okay. That's actually working nice. This all needs a good polish and a buff. This needs to be really. I'm gonna actually. What am I gonna do with that? I'm gonna conduct an experiment actually, because I'm not gonna be able to polish that up because it is rust. So just get a bit of polish, get a bit of paper, a bit of sandpaper. Just turn that around so I can see it. What I'll do, I'll try and polish it out. If not, I'll have to live with it. But this is very, very fine sandpaper, folks. Just to, I mean, that arm, will that arm polish up? Let's just see. or is it fucking permanently scarred? Because if it is, I'll give that a light dusting as well. No, that'll polish up, that's alright. I mean, that will when I hit it with the metal polish. I mean, it felt a bit lumpy before, now it feels okay. Let's have a look at the mounting. You can't take the mount off. The reason for that is because... Why can't you take the mount off? Let me have a look. I saw a reason why. You can take this off, but you can't take the bottom bit off because it's riveted to the base plate. That was why. Move that so I don't pull my fucking eye out. Get me piece of paper and just give it a clean, really. See, that's only... that's actually... just make it look a bit better than what it is. That's all we want to do with it, really. Just give it a bit of a rub. And that's all we want. I mean, we can't ask for nothing else. It's an old deck. But that's not bad now. Yeah, that's better. Actually, yeah, that's actually nice. In fact, that's not actually rust. It's actually the same finish as what this is. It just cleaned all the crap off. That's nice, that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the turntable on and see how free... Oh, hang on, before I do that, let me just... Before I put the turntable on, let me just service the idler. I might as well as it's off, I might as well. Right, so pull the little clip off. Put that there. Take the washer off, take the little shim out, and that's as dry as a nun's crotch. Give this a bit of a wipe in here. Hang on, oop, put that idler there. It doesn't matter if we get contaminants on the idler, it's going to be treated with rubber renew, so we're alright. Now, a lot of people just put a bit of oil on there, I don't. Because, you know, it's mine and I'll do as I please. So basically what I do, I apply a little bit of grease on there because I find the grease works better and it lasts longer. Yeah, a little bit of grease just on there. That's all you need. A little bit goes a long way. And you know, we put the idler back on. It don't matter, like I say, if it gets contaminated. A bit of grease on it because... Bear with me, folks. That was a friend. She has the same trouble I have. She has trouble sleeping. And I have trouble sleeping as well, so... Is that on there? Is that the right way up? Yeah. Yeah. That's the right way up. Now let's put the other shim on. Just checking those on record. Put the washer on. If it is the wrong way up, I can turn it round, but I think it's right. Put the clip on. Ooh. Put the clip on. Oh, where have you gone? There you are, you've dropped into the fucking mechanism. Right on the edge there. And there's a fucking screw in the way, an adjuster. Gotcha. How dare you, Sir Clip, run away like that? How dare you indeed. Right. There's a little notch on that washer, and that's fully in. Yeah. And the reason why there's a notch in the washer is probably to stop the washer spinning. It doesn't work very well. Well, it does actually. Oh, get back under there. There we go. Now, let's put the turntable back on. Just give my hands a quick wipe. Let's feed it down the spindle. Oh, hang on. Feed it down the spindle onto the bearing. Give that a good. See how long that spins for. Yeah. I'll give this arm a polish with the metal polish. That'll polish some of that. That'll take whatever rust is left on there off. And to be honest with you folks, all I need to do now, look at it still going round. That's got a good spin down on it. I mean, it was alright before, but it weren't as good as that. Anyway, I'm going to go and, like I said, before that message came, I want to go and have a slash. Right, we're back, that's better. Right, so shift that out of the way. Now it works now folks. If I should get someone to balance it really, but we're alright, we'll manage I think. Right. If I turn it, it was working before, but there we go. Record on. Oh. Let me get another tin, I've got one here. Let's get that other tin from under the computer desk. I'll balance it with a couple of tins. These tins the same height. No, one's a bit lower than the other. So it doesn't reject prematurely. I'll put that one under that side. If I can. That one there, and put the other one. Oh, it balances all right with the nut. That's okay. Right, so it's about level. So let's get that. So it switches off. There we go. Move that back. Now, then put the record on. Are we ready? It drops, it goes on, move it across, there we go, it works. And that's, try it again. What I should do is put a cartridge in it, but any fine adjustments can be made. But I'm happy with that. Yeah, pretty much works. That's how it's supposed to work. It weren't doing that before. Wasn't coming off at the end. So obviously the lubrication's done it the world of good. and there's a turntable brake on it which doesn't seem to do anything. Don't ask me why, I'm going to look at that now. So what we'll do, we'll move our tins so I can get it back to bench level, more or less. Shift that back. In fact, I'll shift that back because it'll also keep that back out of the way as well. Ref up, back in my case. Let's lift the turntable off and find out why the brake doesn't work. Now, I'm going to have to do this manually by hand. No greaser out on the top of that, so we're okay. So, on. The turntable brake, the actual thing is supposed to go that way. It's actually worn down, look. So what I can do here, I can put it in that way, I think. Yeah, saying that probably can't, but because it's supposed to hit that inner rim there, and it's worn. You can see because there's crap on it. So if I can get that into there, which is probably going to be impossible. It pulled out with fucking easy enough. Can I get it in that, back in that way? Will go in. Where's that fag lighter? That'll harden the end of it, you see. And also put a taper on it. Well, that didn't work either. Let's have a look. I know what I can do. I know what I can do. I can open it up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. It will open up a bit. Let's try that. Where's this little screw from? I don't know where that's from. It's not out of that deck, it's too fucking shiny and new. I don't know where that's from. But we'll find out. So if I hold that there and just open that a little bit, I should be able to get that in there now. And then clamp it back down on it. It's easier to get it through that way. Don't know where that little screw's from, it's certainly not off this deck. It's too fucking shiny. I mean, it's, you know, turntable brake isn't really essential, but it's nice to have things working how they should. Oh, we're going in. Yeah. Try it the other way. As it is going in, it's just trouble getting it through. It's still a bit on the tight side. There we go, that's as far. Make sure I can turn it all away. I can. So now what I'll do is tighten that back up. There we go. Right. Shift stuff out of the way. Right, so we're done there. So let's put the turntable back on. Not very effective, but it works. Right, let's take that back off. That'll do. I'm going to give it all a good clean now, folks. I'll be back in a minute. I just need to get me cleaning stuff. Right, let's get it cleaned. Stuff won't come out. That's off, that's why. That's it. Where's the straw? It's at the bottom. I'll say my squeezy bottle ain't working. Right, my squeezy bottle ain't working. Why is that not working? Have a quick look. It's working, so why is it pumping the fucking shit out like I want it to? Right, with the straw, I want the straw so it's facing that way, so when I put it into the liquid, try that. Off. That's it. There we go. Let's get my cloth and start cleaning. Well, it's coming up lovely, that. go. Well, it looks lovely now. Make sure I get all the moisture off it. Go. Right, you can read what it all says now. Yeah, it looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. It's really smart now. Make it look a bit good. Whoops, don't want that popping out. Don't want to lose those. I'm not bothered about water getting into the switch because it's going to be cleaned anyway, so it doesn't matter. The switch will be tested and cleaned. Let's give that a wipe because I've got grease on it before. Give that a wipe there, a bit of water there. There we go. And it's just really to just make it look a bit nicer, that's all. I mean, there's no harm in it looking better than what it is. Let's clean that little handle. Clean the back of this. And that. In the front. Oops, there we go. All that brown stuff there is, it won't come off. I don't want to use IPA. I don't want to remove the fucking. I don't want to remove the paint. There we go. A little bit round that switch. A little bit on there. On that post. Clean that. That clean because that's a bit on the other side of disgusting. I'll service that switch in a minute. That's if it is a switch. I would imagine it would be because you don't want this being on when it's in gram, when it's in radio. Right, well that's clean. I'll clean the turntable now. First, give the centre spindle a wipe. The spindle's actually in nice condition. It's not got any oxidisation or out on it. Right. Pop the turntable on. Whoops, that's only because of that. There we go. And the turntable brake now works. playing that, which you should have. All the ball bearings are in. If we get our record again, oh, usually helps, doesn't it? Spindle in. Oops, that's it. Now, oh you fucker, it won't do that in the radiogram, obviously not. Start, push it over, go over, see this, oops, that was a bit premature. Put that back on the record keeper, as it's called. Look at that folks, nice and smooth. That's running beautifully, that, and the reason why it's making a slight bit of noise is because I think it's running on, if I take it off that it's running on the idler, if I move the idler out of the way so it can't run on it, it's always engaged by the look of that. There's plenty of grip on that idler, that's for sure. Yeah. The idler's not always engaged, is it? Can't be. There we go. Fucking is. The idler's always engaged. So that's the problem with this is there we go. The arm's moved over to it now. Right. So let's reject the let's simulate reject the record. And the idler I thought the idler should move away from the turntable, but it obviously doesn't. Oh! I've just knocked all the shit over me. I'll tell you what folks, good job these kits are going in the fucking washing a bit before I go to bed, innit? Not that fucking crap all over me. Right. Well, what I want to do now, I'm going to pull the turntable off. There we go, because I'm going to clean it in a minute anyway. Let's put the record back. Just put the turntable under there for a second. And I want to see how it engages. It pulls over. back. So it pulls over and moves back. So let's see how far now. That come all the way forward, yes, it's supposed to. Let's have a look at that underneath the, see how what moves that. That spring that I said was stretched. That's the problem. Yeah, so let's sort that out. That spring is definitely stretched because it shouldn't be like that. So what we'll do, we'll take it off for a second. I don't think that's the right spring, but it's definitely stretched. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull a couple of links off it, coils off it should I say, and what we'll do next, we'll get the pliers, we'll get the wire cutters rather, cut the there, and we'll get the pliers, and we'll bend a new hook onto it. Oh, there we go. And bend a new hook onto it. Bend that slightly down. Do it so it curls slightly under. Not too far, that should do. Right. That one back in. I've got a feeling that's the wrong spring. Put that one back in that end. There we go. Now let's try that. So that's supposed to pull it. Let's try it now. Has it moved all the way back? Near enough. It's as near as damn it. It's a lot better. It's supposed to go a bit further back than that though. So. Let's just put a bit of oil. A little bit of oil. That oil's dead thin. There we go. go. Now let's dab off the excess. There we go. There we go. Let's try that. See how we get for better. Still not perfect though. That was. Right, let's just mop up the excess that's hanging around here. There we go. That's all we needed to do. Go for it again. Going further back now, that before it was only going to about there. Now it's let's have a look at, make sure I've correctly greased everything under and not forgotten anything. Right, oops, right, so what a jiggle this here. Yeah, everything's got a bit on it. Right. Let's get a bit of oil on this. I've missed that there. Let's get a bit of oil on that. A little bit of oil will do it. Just on that pivot point there. This oil's very thin. Ooh, very thin. Very thin, very light oil. Right, so what I need to do next is turn that, and see if it shuts off and goes all the way back. Yep, better than it was. Yeah, just mop up the excess, then put the turntable back on and see if it comes away from the idler this time. Because I don't want the turntable always being in contact with the idler, because it'll put a flat spot on it. There we go. Right. Now let's see. It's still in contact with it. I think it might be supposed to be. Oh no, it's not right, that. I don't think it is. I mean, that's not supposed to be in contact with the turntable. Right, let's see. Well, that's as far as the movement you get anyway. You can't have any more movement than that. And that bit there isn't used. So you can't have any more movement than that. It flicked all the way back that time. Let's turn this gear. That'll go all the way back that time. Yeah, it did. Let's just get a bit of grease on there. What's the wrong tin? Dopey fucker. Put that there out of the way. Let's get a bit more. Put a little dab of grease on that pivot point. Always something you're missing there. Put a dab of grease on that pivot point. Where are we? And a little bit there. Well, that seems better. Let's just see how better. Because it's the right way up. I still think it's that spring. Let me just... I still think it's that spring. I don't think that spring's strong enough. Because when it turns off... Turns on. Turns off, it's supposed to... Put it down. Well, it could be right actually, but there again, saying that, well, that's not a strong spring. Saying that, it's fucking piss weak, that spring, that fucker there. It's piss weak. I don't think that's a fucking original spring. Let me have a look in my box of springs. Bear with me. Let's get me box of springs. I'll have a look, see if I can. Where's me fucking springs? Springs. Here we go. Here's me springs. Let's have a look. I think that fucker there is piss poor, piss weak. I think it should be a bit fucking heavier than that, or that's not strong enough. That'd be too fucking strong. Oh, I don't, that's too fucking much. I'm trying to find a fucking decent one. No, that's more fucking like, I think that's more like it. But that's too strong. There's all sorts in here because let's try that one. Move that over there so I don't end up knocking that off the fucking bench, handy oil. But I think this is the wrong spring. It's just too fucking weak. It's just too weak, folks, that spring. It's definitely not fucking strong enough, that. I mean, it's piss poor. Put that in the spring box because it won't be going on no matter what. Now let's open the ends of this one up a little bit so I can feed it on. Right, let's put this one on it. We'll see if I was right. I think I'm right. Now that pulls that. Now let's try. There we go. Let's see. Pulls that all the way down now. Now let's see if it moves. Let's try that. Start. Still fucking. Let's have a look. Alright, well, that spring there. That could be a bit tight. So it's just. Oops, let's come off now. See, I can use it to gauge what size, what spring I need, and I can then put one on at the right tension. But I think it's the fucking spring. See how we go with that. We're not too loose. Now let's move that out of the way. And have we gone back? Yeah, we've gone all the way back that time. So what we'll do, we'll turn that again. And see if we go all the way back. Yeah, pretty much. It's better than what it was. That feels better actually. Yeah, that's more movement in that now. Yeah. See if it misses the idler. In fact, I want it all the way back. See if it misses the. See if it misses it. I've still got the turntable to clean. See if it misses, because it should not be in contact with the idler. Oh, it seems to be, so it must be right. But them springs were the wrong ones. These weren't right, but so what I'll do now, I'll find another spring to put on here, so I haven't got that crushed one on it. So we'll take that off. So it always seems to be in contact with the idler, but not as tight as. Let's find another spring to do the job. There's one there, that might do it. That might be just what we're looking for. Either one of them. Let's try that one. Yeah, that one will do it. Let's just open it up so we can put the end through there. Yeah, would help if it went through, wouldn't it? I don't want to put any pressure on it. Not too much anyway. I want to get it. There we go. That's that one in. Now let's turn it round. See which is the end that opens. There we go. Yeah, that looks about right. The only trouble is the fucking end. There it is. There's the end. It's like fucking about with a roll of sellotape, but you can't find the fucking end. Oh, you bastard, nearly had it in then. Yeah, you couldn't. There you are, get in. There you are. Two nice new shiny springs. And they don't feel too fucking tight then. Put that one back in the spring box. Let's see how we get with that. Let's turn it on. Yeah. That's going all. It's going back as far as it can. I mean, it's always in contact. So it's always in contact. So it must be right. So that's all I can say. It must be right because it's always in contact with the idler. But when you turn it on, the turntable brake's working better. Now I want to try and turn this. There we go. That's not bad, that. Pull that out so I can get a really good spin on it. That's not bad. That's nicely lubricated, working well, and I just don't like the thought of that fucking coming out of time lift records off. Now that should go back to there and shut off. There we go. Turntable brake comes on, it's pushing the brake harder onto it now, so yeah, it was the wrong spring. So that's better now, look, the turntable brake works. So that's better, that's what we wanted. Yeah, that's what we wanted. Put it onto on. Yeah. Now let's have a look at this switch. I'll tell you what. Let me go on the bog and whatnot. I'll have a pee. And I'll put you on pause while I do that. I'll be back in a minute. Right, what I've done, everything's been cleaned as you know. I think I've got to switch the camera back on. But what I've done, I've replaced this spring gear with a slightly heavier one. And I've replaced this spring gear because, you know, it was just crap anyway. So, and I wasn't happy. So I've replaced both them springs. Just make sure you've seen them. This one here and this one here. Both new springs. Because they were foot. And now they're not, they're alright. Good for another fucking, what, 70 odd fucking years or whatever it is. This fucking late 40s, about 70 fucking years or something. I'll tell you what, I bet when Garrard were manufacturing this, I bet they didn't envisage that it would fucking still be here now, did they? You know, I bet they didn't fucking envisage that in the 21st century somebody would be fucking servicing it, putting it right. Anyway folks, I'm going to go to the bog, I'll be back in a minute. I need another pee, must be something in the water. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work on the speed mechanism and give that a clean and lubricate it all up. Get that sorted out. Speed mechanism on this is very simple. Just take the motor off because I don't need the motor on it. Don't know why I'm bothering to save them because they're of no use to me. I'll save them because, yeah, I've lost a nut. That's fucking disappeared now and never to be seen again. I actually felt it in my trainer, so I wonder if it's gone inside me. No, it hasn't. Dropped down there on the fucking floor. Fucking, I'll never see that again. Let's have a quick look. Oh, pardon me. There's another one for Donald Trump. Well, there it is. Another one there now. I like to keep these brass nuts if I can, because you never know, you get something that might be missing. You know, you might have a nut missing from something, so I like to try and keep them. All these brass, all these bushings and stuff. I like to keep all that sort of stuff if I can. Try not to let this one drop on the floor. Yeah. Right, let's take the, give all this, oh, I can't get that out because it's glued in. It doesn't matter. I get it past the 78 pulley, doesn't matter. I can still do it. Right, so what we want to do is we want to start by cleaning the pulleys. So we need the IPA for that. I haven't got any cotton buds or Q-tips as they call them in America and Canada. I have not got any, so I'm just going to use a cloth. I've got a cloth here, nice soft cloth, and I'm going to use that to clean the pulleys. Try and bring them up and not catch me fucking fingers on them split pins. That's that one done. That's lovely and clean now. Oh, hang on. Bit of crap on that. Let's got it. Yeah, we're okay now. Do the other one. Give that one a clean. Not much crap on them, to be honest. No, let's get the body of it clean if I can. Well, as clean as possible. All this crap off so that everything works smoothly. There we go. Can I move that? Yeah. Right, that's about as clean as that's ever going to get. So what we'll do now is we'll just, what I should do really is take that out, put a little bit of grease in it, but it doesn't need to come out. It's the speed select, it doesn't need to come out, there's plenty of, yeah, the speeds work okay, they select with no problem. I mean, there's all you do with that is you just put a little drop of oil down that hole to lubricate it. There we go. That's all we need. Just wipe off the excess. There we go. Wipe off where I spilled the fucker. Right. I haven't got a knob for this, and Jay doesn't know if he's got the original, so I don't know what we're going to do about that, but I'll think of something. I'll find a knob for it. Now let's try turning it. Yeah, that's 33, 45, no it's not, that's 33, no, and that's 45, 78, 78 there, and 33. Just so these pulleys work nice, put a bit of oil on them. It's on the top of the spindles. Doesn't matter if it drips down because the excess will be cleaned off. There we go. Lovely. Get some IPA on there and get the excess oil off the pulleys. dry. Then I can tell them whether the oil's come off them. Because the last thing I want to do is contaminate the idler, especially after I give it all a good cleaning. Right, so that's that. Find another patch on the cloth, that's so I can do the motor pulley if I can get to the fucker. Do the 78 pulley at the top here. There. That's it. Yeah, bit of shit came off that. Now, I'm not going to bother putting that back together because I've got new hardware coming for it. And when it comes, that's when I'll put it together. So that can be put there, I'll put it on them towels and that cloth. And that, my friends, until I put the motor in, that concludes the service on this old deck, on this old Garrard Rc 75. Thank you very much for watching, and more to come later.